Hello and welcome back. As you can see, I've got my Battle of Britain class locomotive named Winston Churchill here. It's a Triang Hornby model. I think it's an unboxed one I have. I'm not sure of the date of it. It does have the smoke unit fitted. I think that comes under model number R356S. So they did make versions of this from 1961 through to 69, I think, and then in 69 and 70 there was a southern variant of it. It may have gone into the 70s too, but I just thought this would look good with that train I had last week with the R1. So let's see if we can back this off the turntable nice and smoothly. It isn't in the best of condition. It has been in the wars, and those are replacement nameplates on the side there and the crest. And when it came to me, the numbers were all scratched off, so I have replaced those. But it's a fairly nice runner, especially on this track. I was quite surprised. So we'll give this a little power. She makes a lovely noise on the rails. And then we'll get that stopped there. And we'll switch some points. So number 1R, excuse me, I'm looking in the wrong direction. So today's the 14th of November, and I mentioned last week that I'd been to the Train Collector show in Leicester. So we'll have a look at some footage I shot there and the items I came away with. So let's just roll that forward. We'll stop her there, and then let's just switch the points. Number 2B, I think we can see these go here. And then let's see if we can back her up into the station. Let's get a slightly different view. Let's go from back here. See if we can get this all the way up into the station and hooked up with a utility van. Looking good coming through there. I think we have those. So let's just stop that there. I'll pop the controller down and let's just widen the camera a little. We'll just have a look over the train. So last week I had this with the R1 and the converter wagon. So I've just taken the R1 off and left it on the platform here with the converter wagon, the horse box. So I've just got the utilities van there, and then I've got one of these lovely southern coaches that we looked at before. I'll put the numbers in the corner of the screen, but I've increased the rake. So we've got the Pullman left on there. Let's see if we can drop down and have a look under the canopy there. So we've still got the one Pullman car, but then I've got another 2 coaches there and there, and then we've got the brake I had on there last week as well. So I think that makes rather an impressive train. But I think probably we should have a look at the footage that I shot at the Train Collector show. So it's in no particular order, the footage I shot, and the lighting conditions were quite poor, very low natural light levels. So the conditions were quite challenging. So I hope you enjoy that, and then we'll have a quick look over the items that I came away with. Let's just give this a little power and see if we can ease it out of the station.
Yeah. I've got 2 sets of it that I want me. You don't often see crossovers.
So here's the group of items that I came away with after spending the entire day. I arrived just after 10 and left just as everybody was packing up. So I kept finding more little bits and pieces. I think last week I already showed this little Ford van. I think that was quite an interesting colour. I think it's very, very bright, and I've had that standing over next to the goods shed. I think we had a look at that last week. So lovely little items, these vans. So we won't dwell too much on any one thing. And again, the little bolster wagon here from the early 70s in bright green, and I had a couple of other of these on that train with the crane, and the cleaning car, and the bright red coach, and that little Ginty with 2021 on the side. And I think I mentioned last week, it looks like somebody's used this as a extra pickup, so it's got these metal wheels on alternate sides, so we could pick up from the track. I think they're the same ones that may be used, or very similar ones that may have been used on the Mark II coaches, or some of the Battle Space range perhaps. But again, I love the colour of that. So we pop that to one side. And another unboxed item, really beautiful early acetate. Well, not that early, but early, because it's got these pressed steel running boards or rails along the side of it, which I think are quite nice, and it's definitely in acetate and NE, and it's quite crude printing on the sides. It's such a pretty little thing, even with the distortion, very hard to resist. So we'll no doubt see this on the railway at another point when we get some suitable track to run items like this on. R16, a very long running model, I think, starting in the early 50s into the late 60s in various liveries. I think the chassis did develop over time. So we'll pop that to one side too. And I couldn't resist this. This was in a pile of leaflets and other sort of memorabilia type things for railways. And I've got various copies of this now, but I didn't have a second edition. So presumably there may be a first edition. And I haven't sort of scanned all these side to side to look for the differences within them, but it just seemed like an interesting item to have. And then these bright yellow boxes, Trix wagons. Now, I do have a couple more of these in yellow boxes, which I've bought in recent times, but mainly because I bought a couple of these Trix wagons that found their way into Trying Hornby boxes in the late 60s. I believe there was some deal with Trying Hornby for Trix to supply them with these wagons, even though the scale or gauge was incorrect at the time. They were sold briefly in Trying Hornby boxes. So you have a look at the insert picture there, but we'll see these another day, I think. Not that I'm starting a collection of Trix items really, but it's just the connection with the sale or the supply of these wagons for Trying Hornby in the late 60s. I think they're mentioned briefly in the 68 catalogue, but not shown with these alternate sort of whiskey brands on them. So I just pop those to one side. We'll have a look at that one. That's bright yellow Crawford's board on there, isn't it? Sorry about the glare. You've got this cellophane in there. It's all quite wrinkly. Perhaps we should have a look at the ends of some of these boxes. We've got bulk grain van Crawford's, and then you've got a catalogue number there. Let's just have a glance at the others as well. We've got pricing written in pencil there again. Abbott's. And let's just grab this one as well. VAT 69. Let's see if we can grab hold of the final one here. Running out of hands here. So that's a lovely looking logo on there, isn't it? So we'll have these with some of the Trying Hornby variants, and get something suitable to pull them along with, I think, in a later video. So I just found those quite interesting. And this is a really beautiful item. I'm not sure whether I'm going to be able to get many of these things out of the boxes. Some I've already taken out. Let's see if we can extract this. Let's have a look at the end of the box. So this is quite a late item. I think this one has a date stamp of 82 on it, but definitely a later variant of the model I have on the railway today, but in the southern livery. And it's got a slightly more refined drive gear on it and plated wheels. See this lovely face card here. I'm not going to extract it fully out of the polystyrene. Let's get rid of that one. Excuse me dropping those items there. Let's just grab the face card. Let's see those lovely shiny plated wheels. And there's the info there with crew, vacuum pipes and alternative names. So we'll just pop that over there. Whoops. And we've got the instruction sheet. We won't go wild looking through it. Let's see if we can just grab the date on it. But there is the alternative name sheet there. So hold that way up instead, I think. So it's still got its nice protective cover on it there. Very lovely items to have, these. Excuse me, reaching across the camera. Let's see if we can see the a date stamp on here. Here we go. So we have the model number here is that 374, 18th of the 2nd, 1982, and 01. Fitting instructions there, all very very apt, I think. So again, this will come into play another day, I think. I'll just pop that up and have a look at it. It's in beautiful condition. I don't think it's really done terribly much running from what I've seen. And it does have a little bag there with the crew and the vacuum pipes in there. But again, I think we'll leave that one for another day. Let me see if I can just pop that out of view over there. I'm struggling with the cable on the microphone at the moment. Excuse the crinkling noise. I know we've got another one of those modern style footbridges. I think this is R71. Again, I can't remember numbers offhand really, but I think that's a R71 or 71A, depending on where it came. And it appears to be intact and got all of its fencing. So we'll see if we can get that on the railway perhaps. I do like those bridges, especially that configuration. I have the one that we put on the railway the other day. Another lovely Murgatroyd's tank wagon there. I think I may have 3 of these now. So eventually you end up not being able to resist buying another one. You end up with a rake of them. R349. So bogey chlorine tank wagon. Nice price scribbled on the spot there in pencil by the looks of it. So a really rather lovely box. So again, I think maybe the wheels maybe they'll run on there. They are pinpoint, I think, not rather than open axle boxes and sleeved wheels. Slight yellowing to the top part of the plastic on there as well, rather the under part seems to be much whiter. So we'll pop that to one side. I think these must have come along sort of early to mid 60s. And I think they went up through into the late 60s, definitely. Can't quite remember the timing on that. Again, excuse the sound of the noisy motorcycle in the background. I couldn't resist another box of these high level piers. I don't think we can have too many of those. So let's just have a quick look. I'm not going to get these out. So we had those on the Super 4 layout. So there's a full box of those. They appear to be all undamaged, which is quite nice. I'm never going to get that flat back in there, am I? I'm not going to push that any further. I'm going to take more care with that. So there we go. So it's a box of 6 R453 high level piers. Nice bit of old crusty sellotape still clinging to the box there. And this was another item I couldn't resist, mainly because of the box. So sad to say I bought something because of the box really, but and again when I opened it, the locomotive inside appears to be barely used. Somebody has made a modification to one of the dummy centre wheel on the dummy bogie. I'm not explaining myself terribly well there. I just love these older style boxes from the sort of mid-early 70s. Let's see if we can encourage this one out. So it's a bit hesitant to release from the box. Somebody has taped the face card in. It looks like it's been taped in at the other end also. But, let me put that down. It does have its instruction sheet. So we'll just have a quick look at the instruction sheet and get the date of it. So it's fairly mottled. It looks like it's been quite damp at some point. So there we have R751, which is the catalogue number, 18th of the 9th, and I think that's 75. So it is quite lovely to have these things. A wonderful illustration at the bottom there. As I say, it definitely looks to have suffered from quite a bit of damp in its time. So I'll just lift this up and we'll have a swift look under this face card. I'm not going to relieve the tape on the end, I'm just going to leave it where it is. So the model appears to be in quite fine condition. It does run. There's a little bit of what looks like maybe a splash of white paint there, but I think that will lift quite easily. And that wheel on the dummy bogie there, somebody's removed the flange on it. I can imagine why, because they do tend to catch in the point work. So again, that's going to show up on the railway at some point. Again, just couldn't resist for the box really, I suppose. So let's pop that there. And then this was rather nice. I've taken it out of the box because it is quite difficult. It's a very, very tight fit in the box. It does have the packing rings. You can hear those running around. So this is from the early 60s, from the TC range. So R128 stock car. And again, I think if we can just look carefully there, we've got the price scribbled in pencil on the end of the box there. Just have a look at the other end. The effects of tape there. So we'll just pop that over there. The wagon appears to be in quite nice condition. Got these lovely doors on here, although this one appears to be quite stiff. There we go. You can see right through. I think this showed up into the battle space range in a khaki with a sniper on it. I think that was a version of this, and I think a variation was the giraffe car was made using this mould. I think too. I think. This is in brown with Canadian or CN on the side of it at some point. Again, this one's got open axle boxes and the sleeve type wheels. They're quite relatively free running. They haven't really seized up, which is quite nice. So it's always quite a bit of work removing those to clean them up. So what have we got here? So we've got a tarpaulin wagon. So that's, I can't read the number on that. R19, I think that says. Yeah, there we go. It's much clearer on that end. And I'm not sure whether that's some original pricing ticket there. And there's some writing. It's hard to make out what it is just there. It's quite nice. That's a serrated edge on that little ticket. Let's see if we can ease this out. So I have got a couple of these already, but I think they tend to look nice in multiples. I think sometimes the Triang name was picked out in white. I don't know whether that was all of them or whether it just wears away over time. I believe there are different colours of plastic used here too. So again, quite a lovely little item there, and that bolster wagon is used in a number of other applications too. Again, obviously this is quite an early one with the Mark II style couplings on it there. Running out of space here. So you can see I had a fairly good day, and you see these things and it's quite difficult to sort of say no sometimes. Again, there's things written on the box here. Lots of tape. The box has suffered quite a bit away. You can see with the fold in that is the triangle's almost going around onto the top part of the box there. So we'll just ease that open. There's a tiny bit of tissue in here as well. Let's see if we can ease the whole thing out. I'll just unwrap that. I said a tiny bit of tissue. It's encased in it, isn't it? Whether the tissue is original or not, it's very difficult to tell, but it's probably kept it nice and clean and relatively dust-free over the years. So I'm not going to drop the sides on these because the hinges do become quite brittle and the notches to hold them in place, but they do open. But I do have a number of broken ones as well. See that number's been printed on there at a bit of an angle, hasn't it? Let's turn that around. And also a little bit of an angle there too. So we'll pop that over there. And we'll stick with another Triang Railways one. So we've got platform seats. So lovely box, but it should have 6 platform seats in it. It's got sort of 1 and one with a missing name board, so I won't extract them. We've seen the platform seats. There we go. So I'm sure I can find a few to populate the box with as time goes on. I think that has that price written on there as well. Again, no excuse, just lovely things. We'll stick with the older box first. And then we have we'll get some focus on that, Shell lubricating wagon, tank wagon, and another price scribbled in pencil there. Let's see if we can ease the box open there. We've got the packing ring as well. And that's quite a lovely condition. Quite an early one with Mark II couplings. I don't think this is an acetate one, or I may be wrong, but there doesn't seem to be any distortion on it. But the transfer seems to be in fairly nice condition. So it's always nice when they're absolutely complete and no broken parts. So again, we'll just put that safely there. And lastly, we've got this much later Hornby Railway style box. It's this lovely logo that they put around the box. It's got the silver seal type label on it. And that's a R130 Lions made van. I think we've got one of these on the railway at the moment. If we remember when we're back on the railway, we'll have a glance at it. Let's see if we can ease this one open. I think these were just made in the 1 year only. I'm guessing at 74, but I may be wrong. We'll stick the real year in the corner of the screen there. But they've got the earlier style silver seal type wheels, which are better quality than the later ones, I think. They've got the metal axle on them. Far superior item, I think, but probably way more expensive to produce. And we'll just catch up with the Winston Churchill and have one last run around the railway, I think. I hope you enjoyed seeing those items. It certainly was a great deal of fun picking them up. Bit of a long drive, but definitely worth it. A lovely day out. So let's see if we can chase this down the side of the station. And I've got the elevated section open, so she'll climb away. I don't think she's going to have a great deal of trouble with that incline with that set of coaches. She does have the magnetesian. And let's see if we can come in a little closer as she comes across the top here. Pretty effortless. And through the points, so I'm holding the camera at a peculiar angle there, so we're onto the inside line now. And she's going to come through this crossover by the signal box. And then ideally she'll pass into the station. Let's see if I can bring her to a gentle stop in the station. And there we go. So a really lovely model to run. So I think what I'm going to do is jump the other side. I'm just going to put the controller down, and we'll have a quick look at that Lions made wagon as well. There, I've fed the controller back through again, and there we've got the great train sitting in the station. I must see if I can get around to finding some slightly better nameplates for this. Again, sorry about that very noisy motorcycle that's just gone past there. So again, it's been great fun running that, and then the Hornby 00 R1 from the week before there. So let's just have a swift look at the Lions made wagon again with a bright breakdown crane there. breakdown train. Oh, and I think we should put that back on the goods shed. Let's see if I can reach over. Definitely does liven it up in the corner over here. There we go. Ready to pick up those crates. So we'll just move back round slowly so we don't get too dizzy. I was just looking at this wagon compared to the one I already had on the railway. This is the original one I have, which is unboxed. But this one is a little yellower, isn't it? There's some discoloration to the print on that one end there. Let's have a quick glance at the other side. So there's no discoloration there on the printing, but definitely the body of the wagon is a great deal more yellow. But we'll get that on at some time. This one also has the lovely earlier style silver seal type wheels there. So I think we'll just give this Winston Churchill and these great Southern coaches a little bit more power. We'll just drop her back onto the incline, drop being the wrong word. So let's give that some power. So charging away there. So we'll bring her to a stop there. So we're all on the incline. I'm going to flip the camera over and see if we can get in nice and close. And let's see how she does with the moving away. Entire train is now on the gradient. So let's see that. See how that does. So let's keep an eye on. See if we get any wheel slip here. So we'll give it nice gentle power. Oh, that's pretty good, isn't it? So it does have a magnet adhesion, and we are on the steel trap. But I think that's it for today. Thanks again for watching. Goodbye now.